So I wrote this story on the theme of intervention based on a photograph that a young homeless woman who was addicted to heroin showed me in 1996 when I was 15, and I used to hang out on Haight Street after taking the Golden Gate bus from Santa Rosa. I never forgot the photograph. Karen is still in her bed. She's been in this apartment for the better part of 2 weeks during a July heat wave. She is staring at a Polaroid picture of herself. In it, one dreadlock is just starting to form in her auburn hair, and perfect lines are drawn around her beaming eyes, perfectly drawn red lips. The smile that Joey once told her was infectious. She wasn't even faking it that time. She moves from the bed where a TV and VCR have been pushed up close on a TV tray for several days, and she sits cross-legged on the stained carpeted floor. One line of muted sunlight moves across her head of bleached dreadlocks and hits her face, surprising Karen with its warmth. It only takes a few days to begin forgetting what sunlight feels like on your skin. Her rucksack is packed, a ticket in the front pocket. This is everything I need, she tells herself. She looks over her chosen belongings again. No heavy winter coat, but she won't need that where she's going. Everything will be different. Everything will be behind her. She tucks the Polaroid into the front pocket of the rucksack alongside the bus ticket and the duct tape wallet she made with Sandra. She won't look at that photo again for months, but she will know it's there waiting for her. The photo was taken in the living room, the one just down the hall, a little over a year ago. The night they had that one party, but before everyone had arrived, when Joey was there and Cody was there, and Sandra just smiled and laughed. It was their housewarming party, their first real apartment, and weren't they just like grown-ups? Sandra took instant photographs with her pink and gray Polaroid camera all night, the same camera she brought with her when they had both moved from into the same dorm room on Rockland Avenue on the same August afternoon. The day they met for the first time, when Sandra didn't even know her, when Karen could pretend to be anyone she pleased. "Ooh, let's try this baby out," Karen had said that day when she saw the camera come out and take its place hanging from a hook on the wall. It was sweaty hot that day, making it hard to sit still, and Karen was bored. Sandra was meticulously unpacking her clothes and decorating her half of the room with photographs of high school friends and cross-country medals, while Karen watched from her bunk. Karen would live out of boxes for the next several weeks before she got around to unpacking. She was used to living out of boxes. Her mother was never content to stay in one place for too long, so the two of them had always kept moving. "I got it for my birthday," Sandra had said nervously on that late August afternoon, brushing wispy hairs from her thin face. "You know, that was the only time I really used it. Oh, and a couple pictures on graduation, but just with my family. A damn shame. Put this on. Let me take one of you." Despite the heat, they took turns wrapping themselves in a feather boa from Karen's box of scarves and hats and belts and other accoutrements. They took 5 instant photographs, 2 of Sandra and 3 of Karen. Each image was wrapped in the same white frame with one edge at the bottom slightly bigger than the others. That's where they wrote the date with a black Sharpie pen, August 21st, 1991. "You're so photogenic," Sandra had said as she snapped the third one, just as the creamsicle sunset hues were creeping into the little room they would share for the next 4 semesters. That afternoon melted away nearly 3 years ago, but there's no sense dwelling on silly things like anniversaries now, Karen tells herself. "Keep moving" is written on a single post-it note hanging on the wall. It's always seemed like that was her mother's motto. Now she's the one trying to convince Karen to stay in one place, but moving is what they know. "I love taking pictures of you," Sandra said to Karen in the living room of their apartment nearly 2 years after that first day they met. Their friends, Joey and Cody, and those nice girls from next door, they were all there. And that guy from across the way, they were all off camera. And that's all he was then, too, that guy from across the way. No one had been sucked in yet, or gone too far, or done too much. Everything was still there. Joey was just that old Joey they all knew and loved, and Cody was just that old Cody they all knew and loved. Those 2 hams aren't even in that Polaroid, but Karen remembers their 2 faces from that night as if they were actually captured in the photograph she was holding between her chewed nubs of fingernails moments ago. Like they hadn't been hiding behind Sandra when she took the picture, avoiding the camera, chuckling and stuffing teddygrams into their mouths, chubby cheeks and dimples, and her smooth complexion and every line drawn perfectly, every smile hung evenly and adjusted to the brightest setting. and Sandra was still there. It doesn't matter, she tells herself, or she thinks it, then she says it out loud to make sure she hears it. It doesn't fucking matter. It's all done. This summer she will leave before August begins, before the lease is up. Her bus ticket has tomorrow's date printed on it. This time there will be no fanfare. This time no one will tell her that she should keep trying, that it's not worth it to give up so much, that it's going to be okay. Just hang in there. This too will pass. This time no one will intervene. No one will say, we're worried about you and we just want to help and this is your last chance. There is no one left here to say that now. There is no one in the background or the foreground or off camera. The sun sets as a Midwest freeway flashes and screams in the distance.